Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you again with another installment of Appalachian Trail thru hikers helping thru hikers. So we had a previous episode where the thru hikers came on and they gave advice for the other thru hikers coming up. Mostly it's for the thru hikers, but we also got a lot of information on there that section hikers could enjoy as well. So let's go ahead and get into the thru hikers that came and helped us out, and we'll talk about all three of those and see what they got to say. So first up is Runa. Now Runa hiked in 2019. So Runa, actually before she came to the trail, she lived in Korea. Yes, that is Korea, the country that is on a different continent. So she did not have the opportunity, like a lot of people do, to come and do some pre-hikes and shakedown hikes on some of the terrain that she would be hiking on. So she started April 24th and she summited on October 5th. She was Nobo. So let's go ahead and see what Runa's got to tell us.
Hello class of 2020, my name is Runa. I thru hiked the Appalachian Trail last year, and these are my 2 tips for you. One, we're going to start with physical. So my tip for you is that you can't really prepare yourself for hiking the Appalachian Trail day in and day out before you do it, but one thing you can do is still practice. I didn't have any of my gear when I was practicing for my hike, so I would just suggest get a normal school backpack, get some bottled water or rice or whatever, put some weight in it, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, and then walk everywhere. Upstairs, downstairs, flatland, hills, hiking trails, not hiking trails, sidewalk, I don't care. Just start walking with a backpack that has some weight in it, and then you can sort of get your body kind of more used to hiking in a way, you know, getting used to getting a backpack that has some weight in it, and the walking that doesn't hurt. It will help your legs become a little bit stronger before you hit the trail. Now, tip number 2 is way more important than the physical one, and that is come up with mental strategies. Like it or not, you're going to, at some point, seriously consider whether or not the trail is right for you anymore. Every thru hiker goes through this. Usually around the halfway point, you get the, Virginia blues, but a lot of people around that point, if they make it there, they'll start questioning whether or not if halfway is enough or if they really want to continue. For me, my biggest point was New Hampshire. New Hampshire almost got me off the trail, and the reason why I didn't quit was because of a saying, don't quit on a bad day. So I had a really bad day on Moosalak, I had a bad day on Kinsman's, but I had a really awesome day on Franconia Ridge, and that's when I realized that everything was going to be fine. Because the thinking behind that is, if you still want to quit on a really good day, then your journey is pretty much done. You've gotten everything that you wanted to out of that journey. Now, so mental strategies, when you're having a bad day, there's things you can do. What are you grateful for that day usually puts me in a good mood. Or if I get through this second day of rain, I'll get a hotel tomorrow when I'm near town. Or what would happen if you quit the trail? Like, how would you feel? How do you think people would think about you? Zach Davis has a really good book about, there's like a question list that addresses that kind of thing. Anyway, sorry if I'm rambling. But basically, come up with mental strategies that will help you pull through those down times. And if you need to end your thru hike for various reasons, then that's what's right for you. There's no shame in that. But yeah, come up with some mental strategies to help you get through it, because most of the trail will be mental versus physical. Because once you get those trail legs, that's the next thing that's going to hit you. And then the last one, how the trail community helped me. So when I decided to do my thru hike, I was living in South Korea, and nobody knows about the Appalachian Trail there. For the most part, nobody really understood why I would want to hike that long or that far. So it was really nice to have the YouTube community and the Instagram community where I could start making friends through the internet and to talk about the trail and to like, how are you preparing for this, or what kind of gear are you going to use, or just even watching previous thru hikers and what they did and how they were successful. And it's really also important on the trail too to have, you know, possibly a tram lead, or not even a tram lead. Like, there's been plenty of times I wasn't with my tram lead at all, and other fellow thru hikers and other just section hikers and day hikers too, you know, help me through the day. And so it's really important to have people that you can talk to, especially too after the trail, because after the trail, getting back into society can be a little difficult. So it's really nice to have people that you can talk to about like what you're going through, because they're also going through it too. But yeah, again, sorry for rambling. I'm going to end this video because I don't want it to be too long. If you have any more questions, feel free to get a hold of me through my YouTube channel, Runa Hikes. I know I haven't really updated it in a long time. I've been trying to get back into the swing of things before I start working on my videos again. But yeah, go ahead, contact me through there or through Ramdino, and I'll hope to see some of you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Runa. We greatly appreciate that. So, Runa, one of the things that she really stressed was the physical practice of just getting out there and as she says, practicing hiking, you know, getting used to carrying weight on your back, getting used to walking long distances. So, I think that's great advice, Runa. And also something that a lot of people don't consider. You know, it's not part of your gear. It's not part of navigating. It's the mental things that are going on out there on the trail. So you're going to have good days and bad days, as she indicated. And, you know, the saying is, don't ever quit on a bad day. So thanks a lot. That's great advice. And then lastly, she talked about the trail community, which is near and dear to my heart. And she kind of got integrated into the trail community through YouTube and other various social media. So that is awesome, and just so glad to hear that you could take advantage of that even while you were in a different country, Runa. So you appreciate you coming on very much. Right now, Runa, she is planning on doing some other thru hikes, not only in the U.S., but throughout the world. And she's also got a new job. So congratulations on your new job, Runa. We look forward to continuing to following you along. Runa, like everybody else, I will leave a in the description section down there. I'll leave her contact information. Please hit her up. She'll be glad to give you any advice and one-on-one advice that she can give you. She's been there, done that, just like all these folks have, and they're all part of the hiker community and just love helping each other out. So the next person we got is Dirtnap. Now, Dirtnap was had a lot of firsts for us. She was one of the first folks that we had that summited and finished. Dirtnap was one of our first. She was one of the first ones to make it to the Warwick Drive-In there in New York, and she had a great experience there. And of course, the theater owners there, they love hikers. You can hike in there, watch the movies, and camp for free. I'm not sure if they charge you an admission or not, but you can camp for free. They have multiple theaters, and that was pretty neat. And then, of course, she was the first one to summit. And then a pretty neat story about her and how she came to meet some of my DNA was that Dirtnap, is she'll indicate to us where she worked before, or worked after the trail. My sister and brother-in-law and nephews actually met her at her place of work after the trail, and it was just kind of serendipity. They happened to be in town. They happened to be doing something at an outfitter where she worked, and they somehow it came across that she was a thru hiker, and they asked her if they knew Ramdino, and she goes, yeah, of course I knew Ramdino. So that was awesome for them, my family members, to make that connection. I've never actually met Dirtnap in the real world, but just through our correspondence and everything, I feel like I know her already, and she just seems like a really neat person. So Dirtnap, sorry to bring that introduction out there. You're doing a better job than I can of your introduction, so take it away.
Hey, I'm Dirtnap. I'm from the AT class of 2020. I was northbound. I started my thru hike on February 22nd at Springer, and Finished at Katahdin on July 21st. When COVID hit, I decided to just stay on trail. I didn't really know what else I would do with my life at the moment if I wasn't through hiking, so I just stayed on, and it worked out for me. So yeah, I'm 27. I turned 27 on trail. I am from a town called Lilburn, Georgia. It's northeast of Atlanta. And before the trail, I was a private and independent dog walker and pet sitter for 4 years. And I really friggin' loved it. It was so much fun. I also briefly worked at REI for a little bit. Cool place to work, sweet discount. So that's why I did that.
Ramdino asked me for 3 pieces of advice for the class of 2021. I'm not sure if I can keep it to just 3. I'm sorry, Ramdino, so I'm probably just gonna end up rambling about hiking. But anyways, my first piece of advice is something that someone gave to me during my hike that I unfortunately really didn't listen to, but I wish I had, looking back on it now. It's so simple and cliche, but do not rush the trail. Like, there's no reason to rush it. Eventually you're gonna get into some mindset of like, oh, I have to do miles and I have to get to this town by this date, and that's just, honestly, it's pretty stupid. Like, you don't have to do that. You get to do literally whatever you want to do. And if you want to go do big miles, that's cool. But I just feel like a lot of people, myself included, rush the trail for really no good reason whatsoever. The trail's gonna be there forever, so take your time with it. I started in late February and I finished mid-July, and there were people still on trail in September that started around the same time I did. So, you know, I'm at home watching the rest of their thru hikes on social media, and I'm like, damn, I could still be out there. They're still out there. Like, they're taking 7 months to hike it. Why did I speed through it? It's stupid. So yeah, I know that some people have goals and they want to hike it in 100 days, or maybe you have to get back to school or a job or kids or whatever, but if you can and you don't have any time constraints, just take your time with it. Yeah. Okay, my second piece of advice is to accept kindness from strangers, because there's a ton of people out there. Trail angels, yeah, but there's also people that don't even know about the AT and they end up being trail angels without knowing it. And they really genuinely just want to help you out and be nice to you and give you kindness. So accept that. A good example of that, I guess, is hitchhiking. I love to hitchhike. You meet some really cool people that way, and sometimes it leads to a free bed or a free dinner, or, you know, just getting to hang out with people that you otherwise wouldn't have met, just because you ended up needing a free ride to town. So yeah, accept kindness from strangers and also return the favor. Don't be an entitled thru hiker and just like assume that all these people are going to help you out for free, for nothing in return. If someone helps you out, help out the next person, or do something in turn for that person. If someone lets you stay at their house, make the bed when you leave, or wash all their dishes, do something nice for them. If someone hitchhikes you, they're probably not going to accept it, but offer them some money for gas. You know, like I said, they're probably not going to accept it, but yeah. Okay, another thing is, do not be afraid to break away from your trail family at any point. Trail families are really cool, and they can help you out during really hard times, and you can help them out, and it's fun to have a group when you're all suffering together through shit. But, you know, like, if you want to go into this town that has barbecue, but the rest of your trail family wants to hike this 30-mile day, and you feel just kind of obligated to stick with them, don't feel obligated. Go do your own thing if you are feeling that. You might eventually meet back up with your trail family, or you might not, and you might meet all the really cool other hikers that are behind you that you otherwise wouldn't have met had you stuck with your trail family. So don't be scared to break off from them. I accidentally broke off from my trail family in the middle of Pennsylvania, and we had been hiking together since Virginia, and at the moment it really sucked, but I learned to be okay with it, and it led to me being able to kind of do my hike a little bit more however I wanted to do it, and go places I wanted to go, and go at my own pace. So yeah, don't be afraid to break off from your trail family. You're gonna be okay without them. You're not gonna be lonely. Like, you're gonna be fine. One more thing, I think just one more, is something that I did at the beginning and I got lazy and stopped doing it, but journal. Write notes on your phone, take lots of pictures. I did take lots of pictures, but journal and write stuff down, because you're gonna get home and wish you could reread those memories, and if you don't write about it, all you have is your pictures and your memories, and my memory is shit, so I'm trying to like remember things from my hike now, but I can't completely remember them. Yeah, so write stuff down. I'm trying to go back and write about my hike right now, and all I have is my pictures and my memories and journals from like only the first 2 weeks. So I wish I had written the entire time, but I didn't. So yeah, I don't know. I guess touching on the kindness thing again, like I said, don't be an entitled thru hiker. You're choosing to do this. You're choosing to go suffer in the woods for months on end. This is technically a vacation. You're spending probably lots of money doing this. As much as it completely sucks sometimes, it is a vacation. So, make a good face for thru hikers when you go through towns. Be respectful, please. Be respectful, be kind, be nice. Just don't be an ass, because if you're gonna be an ass and someone knows you're a thru hiker, then all the town people just start thinking thru hikers are assholes, and we don't want to be known like that. So be respectful, don't be entitled. Yeah, I think that's it. Ramdino. Cool. Cheers.
When I got to Katahdin, I was pretty much just as lost as I was at Springer and didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, and I guess I still kind of don't know, but somehow I ended up living in Damascus for 3 months after trail. I lived and worked at the Broken Fiddle Hostel and also worked at Sundog Outfitters there in town, and then I moved up to Maine. I live in Maine now near Carabasset Valley. I work at Sugarloaf Mountain as a snowmaker up here, so I make a bunch of snow and snowboard on my days off, and it's nice living in a trail town. It was a good transition to live in Damascus, which is a trail town, and then moving up here to Carabasset is also a trail town, so it's nice to still be close to the trail and around hiker-ish things. So yeah, that's a little bit about Dirtnap.
That is great advice, Dirtnap. So, that's something that I tend to do on my trips is try to rush. I get a case of get there-itis, after the, while I'm actually out there hiking, I'm great. But then that last day, I'm like, all right, the truck's waiting on me. A hot shower's waiting on me. Got to get to town. Got to get the truck. Got to get that whopper that I always treat myself to after a hike. So that is a great information and great advice. Don't rush, Dirtnap. And then accept kindness. She's right. There's so many people out there that want to be kind to you and just have the experience of being kind to thru hikers. So please take advantage of that while you're out there. You will make somebody's day. And then finally, don't be afraid. Well, not finally, because she did give us more than that. She did say don't break away. Don't be afraid to break away from your trail family. That's awesome. Get to experience other people that are out there on the trail and just have other experiences with other folks. And then finally, this is going to be a reoccurring theme, is she said journal. So even take some little small journals. You don't have to have a big journal. You can take small ultralight journals if you just have to go that route. So thanks a lot for that, Dirtnap. I greatly appreciate you coming on here. Again, I'll leave Dirtnap's information down in the description section. I'm sure she'll be able to fill your head full of all kind of information if you'll just reach out to her when she's not out there on them snow guns. And then last we've got Monk. So Monk was somebody that updated me on a regular basis. I greatly appreciated that. He got a little late start because of COVID, but he stayed out there the whole time, and it was good getting to know him through his updates. And he was somebody that updated me on a regular basis and just would always reach out to me and certainly would get back in touch with me. So thanks a lot for that. Let's go ahead and hear what Monk's got to say.
Hey, how is everybody? My name's Sean Flynn. My trail name was Monk, and I just finished my flip-flop of the AT 2020 about a week and a half ago or so, about November 8th or something like that. And Ramdino reached out to me and asked if I might give 3 pieces of advice for future thru hikers, 2020 class, and I guess and those beyond. But I'm going to give you 4 real quick. Listen, the first piece of advice that I would give anybody, and I think probably the most important, would be to hike with positive people. Hike with people that make you laugh, and hike with people that you can make laugh. That would be my biggest piece of advice. I was fortunate in my little trail family that we were all pretty much, we had our days, don't get me wrong, but by and large, for the most part, we laughed, I think, more than we cried. The second piece of advice that I would give was something that I had to learn on trail that got me out of my comfort zone a little bit, was learn how to hitchhike. Or you don't have to learn how to hitchhike, I mean, you just stick out your thumb, but don't be afraid to hitchhike. Some of these trail towns, you know, they can be 5, 10, 15 miles off trail, but they're trail towns, and the people that are used to hikers, stick out your thumb. They'd be more than happy to give you a ride in just for the price of talking to a thru hiker, having a story to tell maybe, and you know, you save 30 or 15, 30, 20 bucks, whatever it is for that the shuttle would have been. You know, I had bankers pick me up, I had construction workers pick me up. I had a very good positive experience hitchhiking, and the longest I think I ever had to wait was about 35 minutes, and that was in Franklin, North Carolina, and I think that was mostly because it was raining and I was wet and nobody wanted me in their car. So they didn't mind the stink, but they didn't want the water. So that's number 2. And the third thing that I would advise, a piece of advice, would be to keep a trail journal. My trail journals were small. I didn't carry a big giant moleskin. I'm not a very, I don't write a lot. I wrote very small in these books. But to give you an example, day 17, May 29th, my mom's birthday, 10.1 miles. Damascus, stayed at Broken Fiddle. I'm not going to read that one. Anyway, but those are the 3 pieces of advice of many that I think I could probably come up with, but that I would recommend. Hike with positive people. Don't be afraid to hitchhike. Keep a trail journal, and don't take advice from me. So, thanks, Ramdino. Everybody, have safe travels.
Great advice, Monk. That's hike with positive people. It's tough, when you're hiking out there, just the experience can be tough, cold, wet, getting up in the morning, being cold and wet, putting on cold and wet clothes. So if you're around miserable people and you're in a miserable situation, you're going to be miserable. So that's a very, very good advice there. Hike with positive people. Hitchhike, never thought about that. I'm not one much to do a lot of hitchhiking either. Never really done hitchhiking, but I am looking forward to sometime getting on the trail and doing a lash or my thru hike and doing some of that hitchhiking. So hopefully by then hitchhiking will still be relatively safe. And then again, Monk said keep a journal. So here we've had 2 out of these, and actually last time we actually even had Moxie, who told us touched on that just a little bit about, she said take pictures not only of scenery and stuff, because some of that starts looking the same after a while, but take pictures of people, because it's the people that you're going to remember on the trail, and it's your experiences. So, if you don't want to take a journal, even an ultralight journal, most people are going to have their phone with you, just journal in that phone. And be sure and have that for later on. There's so many times in my life when I took a trip somewhere and I started out journaling and then didn't journal the whole way, and I really regret that. So great advice, Monk. All of you folks, Runa, Dirtnap, Monk, I greatly appreciate y'all coming on the channel and giving out all this advice. All of it was great. Again, I'll leave a down in the description section, all their contacts. Please reach out to them. I know they'd love to hear from you, love to just get in touch with the class of 2021, and even those that are from the class of 2020 that got off, that are going to be finishing up in 2021. Folks, that's all I've got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.